calling out feminists on their BS is one of my favorite hobbies because these people constantly want to act like the morality police, that they are bigger and better people than you could ever imagine, that they truly stand for defending individuals online who can't defend themselves when really they're just trying to profit off of people. And of course, over the past few days, we've been talking a lot about video game censorship, credit card companies controlling our entertainment, and Collective Shout, a feminist organization that is campaigning against objectification of women and sexualization of girls in media. They've been going after anime, they've been going after video games, and they have been getting wrecked online. But now another one of these feminists is getting absolutely roasted on social media, and of course, she's melting down over it. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, Collective Shout has been around since even before Gamergate 1. They tried to get Grand Theft Auto censored and banned. They tried to get Detroit Becoming Human censored and banned, and they are an Australian organization, and I've talked a lot about Australia on this channel because Australia is extremely censorship heavy. If you look at the list of video games that are banned there and that cannot be sold there, it's crazy. They go after drug use, they go after objectification and sexualization. They will go after anything if they feel like it. And the people that run this organization and defend it are truly, truly brain dead. And they think that they are like the morality police. So Melinda Rice, one of the co-founders and the movement director, had just said a few days ago, all these porn sick, brain rotted gamer fetishists, so desperate to get their hands on the our sister incest games, they're now exchanging clues on how to find them so that they don't all die overnight, which is just a crazy take because defending your entertainment against censorship does not make you a disgusting individual. Do not let these people convince you that you are the problem. They are the problem. We are talking about fiction here. We are talking about entertainment here. If we are starting to ban games and entertainment that makes you uncomfortable, you're completely missing the point about art. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that, oh my gosh, all the games that Steam is banning are truly like amazing pieces of art, right? I personally would never play any of these games, but if they're properly rated, then they should be allowed on a platform. I do not think that censoring adult entertainment is really the way to go because censorship is a slippery slope. Of course, if you start censoring these games, well, then you have to get rid of Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire. You have to get rid of The Realm of the Elderlings, Cyberpunk, Witcher. I mean, the list obviously goes on and on. Oh, overly sexual content. Well, I guess we'll call the Arkhamverse games that because Catwoman and Ivy and Harley Quinn are all sexy bombshells, right? I don't want my entertainment censored, and I will defend games that I personally would not play if I have to. But, of course, she got absolutely wrecked. 569 responses to only 85 likes. It really just goes to show that even the people that are supposed to be supporting her and her movement do not really care. She does have a few cult-like followers who have been going insane on social media over the past couple of days, and I really want to highlight this individual, L.S. Kennedy. Their bio says, ethics, compliance, supply chain, corp governance and behavior, and objectification of women, and they are a collective shout campaigner, and they have been really going at gamers over the past couple of days. I know Chibi Reviews had been talking about this quite a lot. Permaban said it's not a meme. It's not they want fiction censored. I bet they defend cuties. Collective Shout quite literally did in fact defend cuties, which is just insane, okay? Chibi Review says, it's always projection. Holy shit, people were talking about how despicable this behavior is. And somebody named Yubi had said, ask L.S. Kennedy about her pred friends. She's going to be silent because feminists proud only when they attack bakeries and game developers in-house, and in cases of actual crimes, they sit around, and she responded with someone reach out to the Gameboys, which, by the way, she's trying to like make this phrase a saying, calling people Game Boys as an insult, and it's like the cringy social media Gen Z spelling of Game Boys. And hey, listen, I'm a Gen Z technically, right? I've never really heard anybody use this spelling and phrase as an insult. She's clearly just trying to like get a fad going, but someone reach out to the Game Boys. They need help urgently. Brains rotted out from CSAM, grape games. Now they're chasing after women with grape murder threats and false accusations for holding cause to their TS and CS because they can't access all of these games. Again, it's not about the content, it's about censorship. You have to fight back against censorship. And I get it, right? There's going to be people out there saying, I don't really care that sex simulators are being banned off of a platform, but just remember this case in 5 years or 10 years down the line when your favorite franchises are being censored, when you can't have Eves from Stellar Blades, you can't have Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, you can't have, I don't know, Lara Crofts, you can't have Bayonettas, right? Because they want to end objectification in video games. And we know that sexy woman equals objectified in our entertainment. We see these people complain about that time and time and time again. But of course, she's sitting here saying that, oh my gosh, I'm facing so much hate and harassment. No, you're facing criticism because you put out a terrible take on social media. And I'm not necessarily saying that she's received no messages or comments at all whatsoever that cross a line. Don't send her hate and harassment and threats because really you're just giving her ammunition to use against you. But we're talking about 98% of the comments that I have personally seen on her threads and even Melinda's threads just being criticism and saying you are an absolute hag. Here we've got Savvy saying your organization has done so much lying, claiming adult games are being marketed to 12-year-olds in your 2 most recent YouTube videos, which is crazy. I understand that you might not think that a 12-year-old should be consuming M for mature content, but then you should blame the parents for allowing the children to play those games. If something is rated properly, then you can't just take away that content for the people that are part of the targeted audience. You can't start sanitizing content that adults would consume just because a child might see it. Is the parents' responsibility to not allow the children to see that content if they believe the children should not. Labeling me as a man, presenting women as girls, going after a bakery for a text slogan. This is so insane that this actually happened. This was back in 2016, but they actually had to pull the Best Buns in Town staff t-shirts after a single employee complained. And then you also have Collective Shout going after this, saying sexualized slogans on staff uniforms leaves young employees vulnerable to sexual harassment. Was there any evidence of this? Absolutely not. They just wanted to make this claim. Savvy also says, my personal favorite is retweeting someone who doesn't like women, and then because none of you can admit you're wrong, leave it up for the world to see, can't even do basic research, can't trust you to tell the truth. You can't trust any of these feminists to tell the truth or to even have an adult conversation because it's not about protecting women for them. It's about making money. These people are truly gender grifters, right? They make money off of the term woman. It's just that simple. And that's why they're pushing for this divide and ultimately to ruin entertainment that is male dominated. These feminists are really just Marxists, and culture is these people's battlegrounds. They see things like family and religion and traditional gender roles in the West as obstacles to creating their version of a progressive society. So rather than doing something like pushing workers to revolt, the new plan is to slowly reshape society through institutions like media and pop culture and schools and just entertainment in general. It's not about equal rights for these people. It's about control, and what they're doing is they're pushing the oppressor versus oppressed framework and applying it to men versus women, painting women as oppressed and men as privileged oppressors. It is about men versus women because they can profit off of a divide, and if they can reshape entertainment to be what they want, then ultimately they're getting the power and control that these lunatics really crave. That's all that they want is control and money. They don't actually give a fuck about protecting women. And that's why I personally, as a woman, do not defend organizations like this. It's why I do not put my faith or trust into organizations like this, because they are just trying to make a quick buck. It's the same thing with organizations like Sweet Baby Inc. They can claim that they want a more diverse and inclusive industry, but really they just want themselves to make more money off of using these terms and these buzzwords and pushing them in companies' faces and bullying companies until these companies actually hire them. That's how SBI was involved in so many different projects and, dug their claws deeper into different companies. And yeah, it's just why I personally do not trust organizations like this, or even people like this. This Kennedy person, Melinda, right? They don't have any respect for anybody besides themselves. They just want, to ultimately gain more power and gain more control. Kennedy had also said, when your work inspires this level of vitriol, you know you're doing good things. So proud of the women I work alongside and so appreciative of the thousands of individuals backing our org to change corporate behavior and end sexploitation. By the way, she put 2 spaces here. You're a doofus. No, we won't be silenced. Hashtag collective shout. See, they want to change corporate behavior in a way that they personally deem as acceptable. And Kennedy here is just arguing with so many people, and she's getting ratioed for it, right? That doesn't make any sense at all. You are universally hated, not because you do good things, but because you butt into things you have no business with and do severe damage to all kinds of causes. Even other feminists hate you. There's a distinct lack of wit or finesse on display here. It's pretty low effort stuff, to be honest. Yeah, woke POS, okay groomer. And yes, you will be silenced. You are not welcome here. These people are absolute losers. I think that they need to realize that nobody likes them, nobody trusts them, and after all of the damage that the Anita Sarkeesians and the Brianna Woos and the Zoe Quinns did to this industry, we are not going to just sit around and be silent. We are going to voice our opinions, and our opinions is that you guys should not be in this industry because you don't actually care about video games. So right now, these feminists are getting absolutely wrecked by gamers, and I absolutely love to see so many people speaking up on this situation. And of course, I've been covering it at length, and I will continue to do so because it is so important. Adults should not have their entertainment censored, and censorship is a very slippery slope. If you give companies an inch, they will take a mile, and we need to fight back against this. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.